In this video, we'll go over how to use some of the available planning tools in DegreeWorks, such as the What If feature, GPA calculators, and Planner. We'll also go over some of the different sections you may see on your audit and where to find additional information that may be helpful to you as you plan. First, we'll take a look at the GPA calculators. If you click on the three-dot icon at the top right of the page and click GPA calculator, you'll see two types of GPA calculators. The first is a term calculator, so you can see what your GPA might be at the end of the current term. This calculator automatically pulls in your GPA and earned hours. It also pulls in the courses you're registered for the current term, but you can edit those courses if you want using the delete and add course links. So you'll put in the grades you think you might earn, and the calculator will give you your estimated GPA at the end of the term. So let's go ahead and change these grades. So if this student earned these grades in the current courses for his term, he would have a 3.04 overall GPA at the end of the term. The second calculator available to you is the advice calculator. This is more of a bird's eye view tool. Again, the calculator automatically pulls in your current GPA and earned hours at ODU. You let it know the GPA you'd like to earn eventually, and the calculator will let you know whether your goal is feasible. If your goal isn't reachable in under 150 credits, the calculator will display something like this. So in this student's case, if they wanted to try and reach a 4.0, they could not do it in under 150 credits. If the GPA you want to earn is reachable, the calculator will estimate how many credits you need with certain grades to achieve the GPA. So let's try this one. Note that for some grades, the grade points number is actually incorrect. This is a known defect with DegreeWorks, but the credits and the grades themselves are accurate. It's important to note that both of these GPA calculators can't take grade forgiveness or repeated courses into account. And the results from these calculators are estimates only. If you have questions about your GPA calculations, please consult with your academic advisor or contact us at degreeworks@odu.edu. The next feature I'd like to go over is the class history feature, which is also located within the three-dot icon. The class history is a summary of the courses you've taken or transferred in, organized by term. So you can see this student's transfer courses that came in under the summer 2022 term, and then his ODU courses begin in fall 2022. If a course has a final grade assigned and is applying somewhere specific on your audit, so it's covering a requirement, the section column next to that course will be blank. If the course is in progress, that column will also be blank. If a course has been completed and it's not applying to a requirement, the section column will show you where it's falling. For example, this student's Biology 121 in transfer course isn't applying anywhere specific, so it's falling into the general electives area. If you go to the audit, that's where you'll see it. And the business analytics course was withdrawn, so it's falling into the withdrawn, failed, repeated, and grade forgiveness courses area. Everything else is either in progress or is completed and applying to a specific program requirement, so that column is blank. Let's look at the audit to double check those items. So the general electives area is where we expect to see Biology 121 in, and it's there. And we should see the business analytics course in this section, and it's there. So course history is just another way to look at your coursework in DegreeWorks. There's a lot of white space in this version of DegreeWorks, so it may help you sometimes to have a different view of the courses you've taken. And before we move on to the What If tool, I'd like to point out a few things. So the default in DegreeWorks is for all of the sections to be fully expanded when you first enter the system. You can expand or collapse the sections in DegreeWorks as needed, though. You can do this all at once so that you're just seeing these blocks, or you can do them one at a time. So you can just see the requirements for a particular section expanded. You can do it either way, whichever one makes it easier for you to navigate and read your DegreeWorks audit. I'd also like to touch on some of the sections you'll see on the bottom half of your audit. Every student will have the student attributes and activities section. This is an optional section. So it's not going to hold up your graduation if it's incomplete. It just pulls in some of your attributes from the student information system, provides information on how many grade forgivenesses you've completed or how many you still have remaining. There's also a link to the senior assessment if you want to take that. And there's also a link to the graduation application. But again, if this area isn't fully complete, if it's not at 100%, it's not going to affect your graduation and it's not going to prevent your actual audit from getting to 100%. The next area I want to look at is general electives. This section is for credits that you've earned either at ODU or via transfer, but the credits aren't applying to any specific course requirements in your program. So they still count in your earned hours, but they're not being used for anything specific right now. If your department wants to use them towards something, they can submit a request to DegreeWorks to do that. The withdrawn, failed, repeated, and grade forgiveness courses section. These courses are not being counted in earned hours and can't be used towards program requirements for pretty obvious reasons. Repeated courses, for example, are especially important for you to pay attention to. You can't get credit twice for the same course or for equivalent courses. Your in progress and pre-registered section shows courses that you're registered for but haven't completed. So in progress would be for the current term. If we're in spring 2023, these would be your in progress courses. Pre-registered is anything for a future term. They're all in the same area, and the IP symbol means in progress. The exceptions area summarizes any exceptions that have been made on your DegreeWorks audit. So for example, courses that are subbing for other courses per departmental request, that's the most common. And if someone has added notes to your record, you'll see the notes section as well. If you want to get to a specific exception, you can just click it. And if your audit is expanded, it's going to take you right there. If it's not expanded, it's probably going to take you somewhere in the middle. So let's go ahead and expand it. Here we are. So there's your exception in gold right there. So this means that your Math 155 course that came in as Stat 130M is subbing for Business Analytics 206 per someone authorized in your department to make the exception and the date. You can also, sometimes there might be additional information for a substitution. This is normally all that you'll see. So now let's move on to the what if tool. Right, so that can be found right under your student card right here. The what if tool can be used to see what your DegreeWorks audit might look like if you pursued specific courses within your current program, or if you decided to pursue a different program altogether, or a different program with specific courses. You can run any of these hypothetical scenarios with or without your current registrations taken into account. I'm just going to leave these boxes checked for this example. So let's try this student's current program with some specific courses. We'll click on the Use Current Curriculum box. So we're going to run this hypothetical using this student's catalog year, degree, major, minor, etc. Everything will be the same. To see the what if audit with the in progress courses included, And with an extra course added, simply keep the in-progress classes and pre-registered classes boxes checked and add the extra course you want to see. I'm just going to use History 105 in this example. So we'll just click Add. And you'll notice when you click Add, the course is added to a list down here. Once you have the course entered, hit Process. And it'll take a moment, but your What If audit will appear below. So we've got the same program, and let's see where History 105H ends up in the audit. I expect it to be in the lower division area. And there it is. So they'll show up as planned courses with a planned term. And it'll show you whether something will actually apply to a specific requirement. We see this course will cover the Interpreting the Past requirement in the lower gen ed area. So to go back to the What If analysis, just click right here, and it keeps your information in there. So let's try this with a different program. I'm just going to reset the settings here. So let's see what our audit would look like if we wanted to pursue a different degree program altogether. We'll keep the catalog year the same. You can change it to a later catalog, but I recommend sticking with your current one for starters. And before you move on, you'll always want to make sure that the degree and major you're going to run a hypothetical for, any piece of this, actually, minor, concentration, anything, you want to make sure that it's available in the catalog you're under, since the choices shown in these lists are not actually tied to a catalog year. So it's not going to do any checking for you. If you want to check your catalog, you can go to this link right here. It defaults to the current year's catalog, but you can also view previous year's catalogs here. So just double check that what you're searching for is actually available to you in your specific catalog. So let's say you want to pursue a Bachelor of Science degree. We're going to leave the level undergraduate the same. We're going to leave the catalog year the same. All right, and we'll choose a major. Let's go with biology. And let's also choose a minor. I'm just going to choose accounting. So we can process the new What If audit now, but let's add an additional item. We want to see what this audit would look like with an additional course added. So let's go ahead and add that History 105H course. If I can type. All right. And then click Process to produce the new What If audit. So what we'll see here is what this student's DegreeWorks audit would look like if he were to pursue a Bachelor of Science degree with a biology major and an accounting minor under the 2022 catalog year. It'll take all of his earned courses so far into account, as well as the course we just added. You can also, of course, just run a hypothetical with the new program and no additional classes added if you want. So here we can see the What If audit has changed to include these new sections. And the History 105 course, we expect to see it right here, and there it is. So something to note up here, you can add more than one course here. But something we've noticed is in this version of DegreeWorks, the Future Classes tool can glitch if the courses aren't entered in alphabetical order. And some courses, when this problem occurs, they won't show as applying in the What If audit. We can't recreate this issue if the courses are entered alphabetically. So if you do encounter that, just try adding your courses alphabetically in here. And that should fix it. And both of these should show in the audit where you expect them to apply. Now to get back to your original audit, just click Academic and it should take you right back. Now we're going to get into the student planner. So this can be found under the Plans tab at the top of your screen. And I'm going to go ahead and just for demonstration purposes, I'm going to delete all these other plans. So this is probably what you'll see when you actually go in to the Plans tab. To create a new plan, just click New Plan. And you always want to select Blank Plan unless otherwise instructed by your advisor. Next, choose the term in which you'd like your plan to begin. So if your plan is going to start in fall 2023, let's go ahead and choose that. You will not see this many options in the Live DegreeWorks environment. And then hit Submit. So the description can be whatever you'd like to name your plan. I'm just going to call it this. Right? Ensure your degree is correct, and then click Save. You notice that the planner has already started the first term for you. You just have to add requirements. So the most common requirement is going to be a course. So we'll work with that one in this video, but check with your advisor to see if you need to add any other requirement types for your program. The process for adding those is very similar to adding a course. Before we add a course though, let's add some more terms. To add a term to your plan, click Add Term. Choose the term you'd like to add. We're just going to do spring 2024 and click Add. And you can keep on doing this. Add as many terms as you want. I'm just going to add one more here. All right, now let's add some courses to the fall 2023 term. There are multiple ways to do this. You can choose whichever method works best for you. The first option is to click the plus button you see right under the term. This will pull up a list of your still needed requirements. Some items may appear as single courses, like this one here, while others will provide a drop-down list. Like for human creativity, you have multiple options. So let's go ahead and add a human creativity option and one of the regular course options. So I'm just going to choose Art History 121A. That's the course I'd like to take. And Business Analytics 306. Make it simple. Then scroll all the way down to the bottom. You'll notice the courses you chose are listed here. These do not have to be in alphabetical order as far as we know. And click Add to Plan. You'll see that the courses we chose now show up on the fall 2023 plan, and you can continue to add courses, or you can delete any that you've added. To delete, just click on the three dots here, click delete this requirement, and voila. So just a note here, be careful about deleting anything in your plan, especially once it's fully built out. We cannot retrieve plans or pieces of plans that you delete. You would just need to rebuild the plan if that occurs. So you can add additional courses by clicking on the plus sign again. If you don't want to choose courses from your still needed requirements, you can search for them at the top. This takes quite a bit more time though, so we recommend just choosing from the courses already listed as possible. So let's go ahead and just add one more. I'm just going to choose this one. Psych 201S, and you'll see it down here, and click Add to Plan. And you'll see it there. So another way to add courses to your plan is to click on the course option on the left of your screen on the plus sign. So we'll add English 110C as an example, and we'll add it to the fall 2023 term. So this will only populate terms that you've actually created. And here you just type it in and you have to wait for it to come up here, select it. It'll automatically populate the credits. And I'm also going to add a minimum grade of C. That's actually commonly required for this course, always. And delivery method is for your information only if you want to take an online course, if you want to take a traditional course, if it's study abroad, student teaching, whatever. It's not required that you put it in here, though. I'm going to leave that blank. And save. So another option is to drag and drop the course requirement to a given term, and again, add the information manually. So let's add a course this way to the spring 2024 term. You'll notice that the term automatically populates if you use drag and drop, so that's kind of nice. And let's go ahead and add, we'll use History 105H. All right, wait for it to come up here, click on it. It'll automatically populate your credits. I'm going to leave these two blank here. And save. Right, so yet another way to add courses to your plan is to click on the arrow to the right of the requirements heading and expand any of the areas listed. So you see if you click on something, it'll show you what course or courses are available as options there. This I feel is not as efficient, but if it works for you, definitely use it. So you can drag and drop courses directly from here. So let's add a major course, Marketing Research, to our summer 2024 term. So just click on that Marketing Research title and drag Marketing 406 over to the summer term. All right, and it just populates everything for you there. If you want to edit something, like you want to add a minimum grade, or you want to add a delivery method, you can click on the edit button here under the three dots and do that. So now we'll move some things around. Let's say you can't take Psych 201S for fall. Maybe it's not offered or just doesn't fit in with your schedule. So you now want to take it in the spring. So to move Psych 201S over to that term, you can either drag and drop it over to spring 2024, or let's just move it back, or you can reassign it. So to reassign, just click here on the three dots, reassign this requirement, and it's only gonna, again, bring up terms that you've actually created here. So reassign it to spring 2024, and it moves right over. So dragging and dropping will be more efficient most of the time, but if you have more than 3 terms on your plan, reassigning may be easier. And, you know, if you do have more than 3, you can use these arrows to move for this bar. Right, so you can also reassign entire terms. So let's say you decide not to take courses in fall 2023. You want to move all of your planned courses to spring 2025. So you'll click on the 3 dots near the fall 2023 term, choose reassign this term, and this is going to bring up terms that you do not already have in your planner. So you're not going to see like spring 2024 or summer 2024 here because they're already there. So we're just going to do spring 2025, reassign. And you can see that your plan now starts at spring 2024 instead of fall 2023. And all of the classes that were planned for fall now appear under the spring 2025 term. Now, if you want to see how your planned courses so far would look in your DegreeWorks audit, click the Planner Audit button. Okay. And all of your planner courses should show up as planned courses. So you see English 110C here. It'll have the word plan here, and then the term that you actually put it in your planner. And that goes with all of your other planned courses as well. You can print this audit to PDF if you'd like by clicking on the printer icon at the upper right-hand corner of the page. You can print it to PDF, and then from there, you can actually print it out if you'd like. So to return to the planner, simply close out of the planner audit window. Now, you always want to save your plans before leaving DegreeWorks and lock them if your advisor asks you to do so. To save and or lock a plan, click on the pencil symbol next to the plan's description. Check the active and locked boxes and save. And notice you can also edit the description here if you'd like. So you can create multiple plans, and it's definitely recommended that you use the planner for organization, but double check with your advisor. Some programs may require you to create plans and others may not. I always recommend using this feature though. It definitely helps you to remember what you plan to do years out. Right, now to view your list of plans, you can click the plan list button there, and we just have one right now. Be careful never to hit the delete icon unless you really want to delete your plan. Right, to navigate to a given plan from this list, just click on the description and it'll take you right back. If you want to create a new plan using your old one as the basis, click the Save as Copy link. Then go back to the plan list and you'll see 2 copies of your plan. If you want to rename one of them and make changes, just click on the description. Then click the pencil icon to edit. All right, you can rename it. Go back to the plan list and you'll see your 2 separate plans there. So you can use the second plan to explore the planner feature a bit without fear of messing up your original plan. So if you want to try out different course combinations, different test scores, things like that, you can kind of use this as an experimental plan. So to get back to your DegreeWorks audit, click on the Audits tab at the top of the page. Now, the final section I want to bring to your attention is the Links and Contacts tab at the very top of the page. First, you have a link to email DegreeWorks at ODU directly. So if you click on this contact link, an Outlook box should pop up with your email address, our email address already populated. And that's degreeworks@odu.edu. So if you have questions about the appearance of DegreeWorks or where to find something on DegreeWorks, this is a good link to use. The catalog links takes you directly to the university catalog, which you should be using as a resource, in addition to meeting with your advisor regularly and reviewing your DegreeWorks requirements. So this defaults to the current catalog year. You would just click undergraduate catalog here, but you can also view previous catalogs if you'd like. So whichever catalog you're under, those are the requirements that you need to follow. Now your advisor, your department, of course, can make some exceptions, but you want to follow these requirements as closely as possible. Right, the next item is the DegreeWorks FAQ page, which is currently under construction, but this will eventually take you to a page that includes detailed information on DegreeWorks. So again, where to find things, how to use some of the tools, etc. And of course, if you can't find what you're looking for there, feel free to email us. GPA calculation info link takes you to a page with information on how GPAs are calculated. And the university's grade key is also available here. So, and as always, if you have any questions about your GPA calculations, just contact your advisor or contact us. So the next link, graduation, that takes you to a page with information on graduation requirements, FAQs, information on how to apply for graduation. I believe there's also a link to the commencement ceremony information in there. So that can be helpful, especially towards the end of your program. The holds link can also be helpful if you see that you have a hold. So the holds that show up on DegreeWorks affect registration, and they're indicated by a 2-character abbreviation. So that abbreviation is not going to mean anything to you. So if you need to see what kind of hold that is, go to the holds page and look up that abbreviation. I believe this one was RC. And it'll show you what that hold is, how to get rid of it, what it prevents, who to contact, everything. So this is a very good resource for you if you have any questions about holds. Holds are placed by different offices, so you have to contact that office specifically to get the hold removed. Or in some cases, this is one of the more common holds you'll see, the advisor hold. You would need to contact your advisor. And I recommend meeting with your advisor, not just to have your hold removed, but to actually sit down and have a conversation with them, whether that's in person or virtually. It's very important that you keep in contact with your advisor throughout your time at ODU. So some other links, this will take you to the My ODU portal, where you can access things like DegreeWorks and Leo Online, and your email. This one will take you to the ODU homepage. This one takes you to the registrar's page. And one thing I want to point out here is that all of our forms are available right here in one place. So if you're looking for a form that the registrar's office carries, it should be right in here. That includes things like the Veterans Clearance form. Right, the next one is a transcripts link. So this will take you to a page that explains how to obtain your ODU transcript and have it sent somewhere, or just get it for personal use, either an unofficial or official transcripts. That can be very helpful. And the last link here is also very important. So this is an undergraduate advisor directory. This can be especially helpful if you don't have an assigned advisor yet. The lists connected to this page are fairly comprehensive, so you should be able to find the contact information of an advisor who can assist you. Some colleges, like business, even have a main advising office email. So if you don't know who specifically to contact, you can email that main email address. So this concludes the tools and features overview of DegreeWorks. Please feel free to email us at degreeworks@odu.edu or use the contact us link if you have any questions, and thank you for watching.